So you might be on the lookout for some decent or solid Pixel 9 accessories. Luckily, way ahead of you, we've tested tons of crud to find the gems hidden in the dirt. Well, here's a few more that we think, well, they're our favourites, and you might want to take a look at. So lots of cases for the Pixel 9 series now come with MagSafe connectivity as standard, which I really like, but not all of them do. So with a ton of accessories out there, you can actually connect to your phone with that circular magnetic band. You might want at least to have the option. So there are cheap metal rings that you can attach to your case for under $10, but I think PopSocket has the best colorways with white or black adhesive rings that let you pair more things to the back of your phone. I think these look a little less hacky and aren't quite out of place on things like the official Pixel 9 series case lineup, which I've attached these to. You can even stick it directly to the back of your Pixel if you wanted it to, and I think it's hard to argue with a $7 accessory that opens up a great array of other accessories, which again is always nice. And I think a PopSocket is a great option, especially adding MagSafe for the low price of under $7. So there's no way to sugarcoat it. We all know most touchscreen controls for mobile games and emulators, well, they're trash. And gaming controllers for Android come in lots of shapes and sizes, but I do think the GameSir X8 Plus, which I've been testing for a little while, is on the larger side, but it's an absolute Rolls Royce of a controller and the perfect companion for bigger, bulkier phones and even some small tablets out there, and particularly, in my case, foldable phones. It's very much in the mold of an Xbox gamepad, but with the benefits of the split design, so it turns your phone into what is effectively a more capable Nintendo Switch for all intents and purposes. As a gamepad for emulation, I really think there are a few better out there. The Hall effect analog sticks ensure longevity, while the face buttons and triggers are super premium. There's a really nice rumble here. It's a Bluetooth gamepad, so you can use it with lots of your other devices, including tablets, as I noted. The only downside is the pricing. I think at $80, this ain't cheap, so maybe the old faithful GameSir X2S, which is one that I've used for a few years now, might be a better buy, at least under half that price for most people out there. But as gaming goes on a mobile phone, this might be the best way to go about and do it. So one of my favourite accessories for the Pixel over the past few years has been a Uni branded USB-C to HDMI adapter. It's a high quality cable that I've used in hotels when travelling to turn my phone into effectively a little streaming box. The downside is that the cable is large and the output is actually limited to 4K at 30 Hz, which is fine for most people, but that's one of the reasons why I switched it out for an Anker USB-C to HDMI adapter. For starters, one of the reasons why I picked this is because it's smaller. It actually supports 4K 60Hz output, so a wider array of my devices will work with it. And if you don't want to carry around a 2-meter HDMI cable in your regular EDC, I think it's definitely more manageable. And most of the time, when you want to repurpose an existing cable at the back of your TV or in a hotel room, it'll be absolutely fine. I think for most people it will be a better option if you do prefer a minimal EDC that'll work with all of your other tech as well, as I noted. It also means you can choose a different cable if you want, and a high quality cable if you have one of those lying around. So usually I take earbuds with me everywhere. I'm constantly listening to music and podcasts, but I recently picked up the Xiaomi Sound Pocket to throw in my bag while on vacation as sort of a room speaker when in a hotel room or in an actual Airbnb. Make no mistake, it's not exactly the best speaker I've ever used, but for me, it's compact, has a handy lanyard to hang from a backpack or a strap, or even a door handle, which I have done in the past. It has long-lasting battery, and it even has an IP67 rating. I've actually paired this with my Pixel tablet to get a basic in-room Cine experience quite recently. I actually have to admit, it wasn't quite that bad. Sure, it won't replace a Sonos system, but if you want to play some tunes by the pool or even heck in the shower, I think it's a great little stocking stuffer to throw in your bag and just forget about until you want to blast some music while on the go. And that's one of the reasons why I think this is something I had to recommend. So if you have the Pixel 9 Pro Fold or even the 9 Pro XL, a decent kickstand actually might not be a bad idea. I have been using a super nice JSOX folding phone stand with the Fold itself, if you've seen my other video on the channel, and it's become a mainstay on my desk. For just $9, it's not going to break the bank, it folds flat, and it should take one hell of a beating. It's really, really hard to fold, and if you want an extra accessory, something that you can place your phone on, so even, like I say, when you're traveling, might be another option for you to consider.
Alright, let's dive into some of my favorite Pixel 9 cases. Damien already showed you some great general accessories, and now I want to share some specific cases that I think you guys will appreciate. First up is Pitaka. Lately, I've been obsessed with thin cases. Part of the reason is that I want to preserve the original design and aesthetic of the Pixel 9. I also want improved handling and ergonomics from having the thinnest case I can possibly have. And lastly, I just want to keep things as minimalistic as possible. No frills, no quirky features, just a minimal case that looks good and protects the device. And that's why I'm using Pitaka cases as of late. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, they are expensive, no doubt. The average price I'm finding is around $60 US, which is far more than I'm willing to pay on average, but I'm enjoying Pitaka for its simple carbon fiber build and MagSafe connectivity. I find it hard to believe that there's magnets in this super thin case, but they're there and super strong. And if I'm keeping this case for the lifetime of the device, it feels great to seamlessly pick up any MagSafe accessory online, in store, or seamlessly use my friend's MagSafe accessories knowing they'll actually work. Paired with a glass screen protector, I think this is the closest you can get to enjoying the Pixel 9 as intended, aside from a D-brand skin perhaps. Obviously, this is not the most protective setup in the world as the power and volume buttons are exposed, but if you're looking for a razor-thin, minimalist case, you probably aren't expecting the pinnacle of protection anyway. Overall, I love this case. Expensive, yes, but whenever a prominent iPhone manufacturer brings their expertise to Pixel, I always want to highlight. Next up is maybe a lesser-known brand called Pella, and the big selling point for their cases is the fun factor. Not only do they have a ton of interesting designs to make the Pixel series stand out, but there's a huge eco-friendly angle here as these cases are biodegradable. They're made out of what they call plastic, which is a material that is made out of a compostable bioplastic and flax straw materials that can take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years to biodegrade in a backyard compost. And according to their website, they're made right in Canada. So if you're on the Western Hemisphere, it's as local as you're gonna get. As for the case itself, it has a smooth, rubbery feel, kind of like a silicone case. They aren't too bulky at just 2 millimeters thick, and it's still quite ergonomic to the point where you can still feel the original frame of the phone. The volume buttons are built into the case, which is fine, but the only thing I actively dislike about this case is that there's no insert for the power button, just an indent directly to the button itself, which can sometimes make it hard to access. Not a huge deal on paper, but I personally don't like this particular design choice. Otherwise, as mentioned earlier, there are a ton of designs to choose from. I bought 5 of these on a Black Friday sale, and each design looks great in person. The prints are super sharp and have a bit of texture to them, plus there's these little specks in the cases which are pieces of flax shrive, so each case will technically be completely unique. Either way, I'm a huge fan of these cases. They're great options for those looking for something a bit different, and again, another good case from a prominent iPhone manufacturer giving some love to Pixel devices, so I'm always down to support that. Closing out my case recommendations, I wanted to put Mous on your radar. I'm using the Limitless 5.0 brand of cases as they're well designed and probably offer the most protection of any case on this list. In that regard, it feels eerily close to the D-brand grip case with a thick rubber frame, slightly textured edges, ridged side rails for better grip, and a raised edge on the corners, while the middle area is almost flush with the edge of the screen. Unfortunately though, this does mean the case is a bit on the thicker side. I find stats are difficult to see, but from their website, they do mention your phone being able to survive a 45-foot drop, and they do say every case is made for Google certified, which has its own requirements and protections to meet that status. Meanwhile, their super thin cases were developed in collaboration with Google's design and engineering team, so I kind of like to think of this brand of cases as first party in some ways. For me, what caught my eye was clearly the design though. If you know me, I love cases made with unique materials, and Mous definitely fits the bill here. They have a ton of materials like black leather, speckled fabric, carbon fiber, silver pearl, walnut, and what I have here, the bamboo variant. For the past few weeks, this has held up great so far, although I expect the wood to dent a bit on impact since it's a genuine material. Oh, and also there's MagSafe connectivity as well. Great to get started in that ecosystem. Again, I can't sugarcoat it. This one is also quite expensive at $65 US, but if you ever see this on sale and like the design, I highly recommend checking them out. So that, my friends, are our top Pixel 9 accessory recommendations. We wanted to put some unique items on your radar, so I hope this video helped. We plan to do a lot more of these in the future, so don't worry, but I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of our list? And are there any Pixel 9 accessories that the community should 100% know about that are not included here? Please leave a comment, as myself and the Android community would love to hear your thoughts, and maybe some of your suggestions might show up in future videos. In the meantime, I'm getting out of here, but before I do, huge shout out to our channel members on screen right now. We greatly appreciate you guys for the support as we do our best to make the highest quality Android content on the platform. Until next time, this has been Jordan Floyd with 9 to 5 Google. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.